Now, the literary method of postmodernists is called deconstructionism. According to deconstructionism, no one interpretation of a text, such as a religious text, i.e. the Quran, should be privileged over other readings. They love this word privilege. Social sciences aside, even the hard sciences are like physics, biology, they're feeling the pressure of postmodernist thinkers. There's a French feminist philosopher. When I say feminist, I'm talking about third wave feminism. I'm not talking about first wave where there's equal rights. We have no problem there. Second wave, there's a revolt against gender roles, a little problematic. Third wave is about body autonomy and taking down the patriarchy and replacing it with a matriarchy. What does that mean? The right to abort babies and taking down men and ruling them. This is the essence of third wave feminism. There's a French third wave feminist philosopher named Irigaray. She said, get this, you can't make this stuff up, folks. The equation E equals MC squared is sexist. I'm going to let that marinate for a minute. What? Why? Because it privileges the speed of light over other light. Apparently there are now an infinite number of genders. Aql and naql, reason and scripture, say there are two genders, XY, XX, dhakar, untha. We are told by postmodernists, social scientists, we're told by Zuckerberg, we're told by gender theorists at the university. Gender theory, interesting. We're told by gender theorists at the university that people who maintain this rigid binary are bigots. You're just not woke. Get woke. Get a book, not get woke. Why Gender Matters. Dr. Leonard Sachs. Extraordinary text. Before it's banned, and I mean that, California Assembly Bill 2943 already proposed the banning of books that are offensive to the LGBTQIA community. California legislation is trying to ban books that seek to reform homosexuals and declare them hate speech. What is the natural progression? This makes Christians very nervous because homosexuality in the Bible is immoral. We say, well, good riddance, Christianity. No, wrong attitude. They come for you tonight, they're coming for us in the morning. We're next. A great American Muslim scholar once said, Shaitan wants to change the immutables to mutable. Shaitan wants to change thawabit. What are thawabit? Thawabit are underlying principles, axiomatic, self-evident truths. He wants to change those into variables, mutaghayyarat. These things can change. He wants to lay to waste our underlying principles. There are classical laws of thought, such as the principle of identity, the principle of non-contradiction. So male is male and not male is not male. There are 3,500 biological differences between men and women. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. The Quran says the man, the male, is not like the female. There are gender roles rooted in biology. Rooted in biology. What I just said could get me expelled from a university classroom, by the way. There are gender roles rooted in biology, in khalq, our khalq. It is not purely a social construct or a feeling. There's an article in the Huffington Post, some people call it the Huffington Compost, where there's a picture of a man sitting on a park bench, looks like a man, with a blood stain in his crotch, holding a sign that says, men get periods too. Turns out, that is a biological woman, dressed up like a man. So the headline should be, woman gets period. Wow. If you're a man Putting on your grandmother's shoes doesn't make you an old woman any more than barking like a dog makes you a dog. American slaves living in the antebellum South, the pre-Civil War South, had a suicide rate that high. People who were separated from their families, treated like animals, and utterly brutalized do not have a suicide rate the rate of some suburban transgender in 2018. Interesting. Clearly, gender identity syndrome, which is what it used to be called, now they call it gender dysphoria. Gender identity syndrome is a mental illness in adults. But now it is politically incorrect to say that. It is politically incorrect to say that. Something that will help people, you cannot say. There is a confirmed mental illness, according to the APA, called body integrity identity disorder. Body integrity identity disorder. This is when a person feels the need to amputate his or her healthy body parts. But when a 12-year-old girl feels like she's a boy and wants to amputate her breasts, she is called brave, courageous, and a hero. Be yourself. Do you. Just go get it. Get it. Amazing. There was a Google engineer, James Damore, I don't know if you've heard of him, who was fired from Google because he wrote a memo suggesting that biological differences between men and women help explain the differences of their career choices. He's absolutely right. And he was fired because it's not PC to say that. In other words, the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, contain more men than women because women are not nearly as interested in those fields as men are. There are also a lot more men in construction, sanitation, and plumbing because women are not interested in those jobs. From a theological standpoint, it is Satan who wants to blur the lines of gender. This is why Baphomet, which is the official symbol of the Church of Satan, is usually depicted as androgynous, clearly the body of a man with female breasts, because he shatters the gender binary. Baphomet is woke, apparently. There's a good hashtag for you. Hashtag Baphomet is woke.